Interesting stuff. You've mentioned your background living in other cities. I want to spend a minute or two to touch on some identity politics in this city. Candidate after candidate have come through this studio, and when I've asked them about themselves, the first thing they say is, "Oh, I was born and raised in Sudbury." This is a city that obviously has a very strong self-identity, but the dark side of that, to my mind, has raised itself several times during this campaign, where candidates have been accused of not being, kind of Sudbury enough. Whether it's where someone's signs were made, or there was a particularly nasty case on Twitter, I don't know if you saw this, where Dan Melanson's campaign essentially called out Brian Bigger's campaign manager for not being Sudburian, although it actually turns out she actually is. Do you think, my question to you would be, do you think that this sort of identity politics is at play in your ward? And do you think your Sudbury credentials are deep enough for voters?
It's funny because that will be one of the first things. Is I was born and raised in Sudbury, lived here all my life, raised my family here, and so on. But one of the big issues in this election is, how do we attract new people to come to Sudbury? So I can say that I'm an example of a young professional with a degree who could have gone anywhere. And I have classmates who graduated and they went to Fort McMurray. They're in Vancouver, or they stayed in the GTA and they're working in Oakville, and somebody else went to Sarnia. So this population that we're trying to attract to Sudbury could literally go anywhere for work. And I chose to come to Sudbury because I was somewhat familiar with the city. My dad worked in steel manufacturing as a draftsman and fabricator, and he helped build the Superstack. So I've got photographs on my website that he took off the top of the Superstack, and basically the desolation that was here before that was completed. So when I'm knocking on doors and people ask, sometimes they'll say, "Are you a Northern boy?" And I can sort of fudge it a little and say, "Well, I was born in Thunder Bay."
That's right.
Or they'll say, "Are you a Sudbury boy?" And I let them know that, no, I came here about 4 years ago, so no, I wasn't raised here, I don't have family here. That doesn't seem to bother them that much. It's sort of it's a conversation starter, "Oh, did you go to school with this person? Are you related to those Alexanders?"
Right.
"No, I'm not. The other Matt Alexander, he seems like a nice guy, but no relation." It doesn't actually seem to be an issue.
Okay.
I feel like some candidates maybe think that that's a way of, I don't know, winning support before people have a chance to read their platform, maybe. But for me, it hasn't come up as a negative. So.